G Outdoors Production. Holy son of a gun, that's a big one.
What's up YouTube? Welcome to the first ever episode of G Eats. It's going to be a new segment on our channel here, and it's basically recipes that we've made throughout the years that we've very much enjoyed using wild game that we've harvested ourselves. And we're just going to try to show you guys some recipes from time to time on this channel. The first recipe I'm going to basically be showing you guys is, I call it the Super Bowl 7-layer deer dip. And it gets that name because, well, one, it's 7 layers, but two, my buddies and I, every year we'd watch the Super Bowl together, and we'd always bring a different recipe, like something that we made at home. And one year I brought this deer dip that I'm about to show you, and every year at Super Bowl my buddies ask for it. I brought other recipes before, and they said it's good, but it's no deer dip. It's super simple to make, so I'm just going to show you guys how I make it. And let's get to it. Alright, so what you're going to need to make this recipe is 8 green onions, chopped, 1 whole head of lettuce, iceberg, romaine, any kind of lettuce you want, just shred it up, cut it up, 5 medium-sized tomatoes. You could use any type of cheese you want. Today I chose jalapeno cheddar, but you could use sharp cheddar, mild cheddar, anything with a big, strong taste that'll break through all the other flavors. Mozzarella I would kind of stay away from. I've never tried it with mozzarella. I'm sure it would be good, but I prefer more of the cheddars for these kinds of dips. We use 2 cans of the con queso cheese sauce. This one's going to be the Tostitos one. And then 2 tubs of sour cream. And last but not least, the deer venison meat. This is 2 pounds of meat, and I just basically put it over the stovetop on medium-high heat, put some olive oil on it, let it go down till it got nice and brown, and then I drained it. Now, one quick tip I want to go over with you guys before I continue the recipe is the importance of seasoning each and every ingredient. If each one is seasoned individually and tastes good on its own, when it's combined it's going to be that much better. Even the lettuce, I put salt and pepper on it. The tomatoes, I put oregano, salt, garlic powder, olive oil. The meat, after I finished cooking it, I drained it, and then I added salt, fennel seed, and garlic powder. So each different component in itself is going to taste good, and then when it's combined it's going to be that much better, and each one's going to have its own flavor. Alright, so now we start building up the dip. We're going to start with first the meat. Just going to go down. Get that all in there. It's the good stuff. You could definitely add more meat if you want. I just like to cover the bottom because there's going to be so many layers. So I like to keep everything somewhat even. There you go. You can even use your hands, flatten it off, it's going to be a lot better. Boom. Next step, we're going to go with the cheese sauce. Rub that all in. Now we just spread it out. There we go. Ba-boom. Next step is the tomatoes. It goes all on top. It's like a Mona Lisa here. You want to be artsy with it. Get it all even. Try to find the spots that are not have any. So hopefully every time someone dips their chip in it, they get a bite of each individual ingredient. There you go. Next up is the green onion. Spread that all around. Boom. It's looking good. Next step, sour cream. I use just 14%. You could use any one you want. I just like the freshness of the sour cream. This is just how I do it. Container 2 is done. Now we just spread it. Next step is the lettuce. There we go. And then last but not least, the cheese. This is one entire brick. Us here in Montreal, we love our cheese. We never take cheese lightly. It's pretty much its own food group over here. And almost every meal has cheese. Every staple of Montreal cuisine. So I'm just gonna load up the cheese here. There we go. And that's pretty much how she goes. Pretty simple. Another thing I want to go over with you guys is, I mean, this is just one way to make deer dip. These are just the flavor profiles that I like to use. They all go well together, they harmonize well, but you could substitute any ingredient for another one. I mean, you could use salsa instead of tomatoes. Salsa is a pretty bold flavor, so I was kind of scared I was going to actually overpower the rest of the ingredients. So I just went with the tomatoes, olive oil, garlic powder, oregano. But you could definitely use salsa if you're a fan. You could use guacamole. I mean, I don't think anyone dislikes guac. You could use refried beans as a layer. You could remove the green onion and put jalapenos. There's so many different combinations you could do. But these are the ones I enjoy. Another cool thing about this deer dip is minced meat for us as hunters. It's always one of the last things to get used. It's always the last thing in your freezer throughout the course of the year. So it's just a different way to use the ground meat. I mean, you could obviously use the burgers, the meatloaves, the meatballs, anything you want. But this is just a different way to use the ground meat. So it's pretty cool. This deer meat I actually harvested earlier in the year. I'll put the link in the description below to that video if you guys want to check out how my season went. Spoiler alert, I guess. it's in the dip. Another thing too is for choosing a chip, I like a more artisanal chip. Something a bit bigger and strong that could hold up to the 7 different layers. Probably my favorite one is going to be the Tostitos scoops. It's the perfect size too. It's pretty strong actually. They're not as flimsy as the ones they probably used to make. I guess they use different ingredients or whatnot. But they actually hold up well to the dip. And they have like a little pocket that you could scoop in a bit more than your other average chip. So those are the ones I recommend. But I mean, if you find other chips that you enjoy, put them down in the comments below and I'll take a look at it. Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed the video. First of many for G Eats. And stay tuned. Take care. Forgot one more thing. This deer dip, normally when I bring it to parties, I leave it out in room temperature. Because it is such a big deer dip, it might last longer than the other kind of dips. Especially the smaller ones, so I like to leave it at room temperature, but you could probably bake it at maybe 370, 375 and just let the cheese get nice and golden brown, or you can even put on broil, just get that crispiness on top. But I'm just scared that the cheese is going to stay hard after a while if it's left out, so I like to just leave it at room temperature and you could keep eating it for the rest of the night. So just be mindful of that. But I've never tried baking it. You could give it a try. Let me know if you do decide to do it. Put in the comments below. And yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching.